Gather, veterans. It's time to join the fight. The long war begins.
This is The Long War. I'm Rob Baer, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher, Mike Haspil, and Wyatt Turk. What's up, guys?
Yo, dog, great to be here.
Greetings and felicitations.
Hey, what's up?
It was the same with Wyatt. So it was a hey, what's up?
I've said the same
Just
thing.
being natural.
I've also said the same thing for 6 years. You don't give me shit.
Yeah, I mean, like, Kenny took great to be here. It's like, that cuts out so many good, like, openers. I can't even say it's good to be here. Like, just can't do it.
I enjoy being here. Being here is pretty cool. Nothing.
I also enjoy being, it's great to be here, but I can't use that as my intro.
I gotta be honest. A lot of times I just filter out what Kenny's saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't even know what he says.
Nope.
On the intro.
Nope. Not even mad. I also don't know what I'm saying sometimes. Shout out to K.R. Quinn, the oldest man on the internet. Where the fuck is my custody shirt, Kenny? I got bank. You hate money? Question mark.
Got new rules even, and no shirt. Rude.
Yes. No, I've been. It's gonna happen. The other day I sat down. I fired up the old Wacom tablet. Shout out to Wyatt for that trade. And saw my document that I'd already made that had the picture I'd already selected that I had Rob proof and say this is the way I want you to lift the feeling from. It's already all squared up. I'm feeling it. And I'm confident I will get to it quick because something kind of important happened yesterday, which is that I made another tutorial. I have been making excuses to not do it because I've not been passionate about it. But I fucking sat down and did it. I said, Kenny, you will do this. And Rob was even like confused when he got the email this morning.
Been so long.
He's like, what am I supposed to do with this? It's like, oh yeah, put it on the Hall of Veterans. I'm like, yep. It's on me. Apologies.
I don't know why it was a struggle. It was inevitable.
It was inevitable. Still a struggle, but it had to happen. And it did. Thanos is out. The completed diorama base. Shout out to Wyatt for getting me hooked on Crisis Protocol models. They throw the picture up on Instagram. It's there.
They're fresh.
I'm very proud of it. And it should be in the Hall of Veterans for all of our lifetime members and whatnot. So shout out to you, Rob. You're a professional and I'm not. Acknowledged.
I'm semi-professional. I will not accept your compliment. I don't know if anybody noticed, but like the site was pretty much down all day yesterday. Somehow people still got to it. And I'm like, I'm just sitting here and like, this is fine.
I was watching another. I was doom scrolling and Googling the same thing over and over again all day yesterday. I did not notice.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure everyone is exactly.
I stayed completely off. I've not been on the interwebs.
I have it open right now in one of my tabs. I'm just like,
and by what we're talking about shipping status for Games Workshop stuff. That's
Absolutely.
Yep.
But
it's my tracking number for those shady dick pills that I bought from Spiky Bits like 2 months ago. You need to get on that shit, Rob.
gotta hire more cats, man. Gotta hire more cats.
How many do you have? You got like 3.
I think the FDA is going to be having something to say about you having animals package a medical supplement.
Look, if monkeys can pick coconuts, then cats
can pack dick pills. That's a perfect analogy. You're back to 1800 on the SATs.
100%.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right.
Perfect. That is so much better than your Model T analogy. I'm with that.
That was a good one. I don't care what.
Not as good as coconuts and monkeys.
I said it was good. So the delivery needed work. The analogy was really good.
I never said I was a stand-up comedian. I just have really
it's not a
specific vision.
This isn't a joke, dude. That's just like analogies are a very important part of human communication to help people understand what you're saying, and you did that flawlessly and you executed it well.
Somebody in the chat say kitten mittens. I just started rewatching Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I can't believe it's been like 15 seasons. Holy cow. It's crazy. Best show ever.
You're immortal, though. Time has no meaning.
I mean, I bet it means even more to him. He just wants to die. I don't know. Sorry. Okay, look, we'll do the Would You Rather. We've got actually a lot to cover tonight, guys. We're going to do stratagems for the Space Wolves. We've got the follow-up GW on trial. Now we have the public defendant present. We've got legendary Mike Haspil. So
Yes, this might be interesting.
kick it over to Wyatt.
Would you rather have to eat an overripe tomato or
Fucking
an
asshole.
overripe banana?
Ah,
I told you.
I'm gonna go with banana.
Would that wait? Would it just be like all mushy?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Like,
still technically ripe, just like overripe, right? Like brown spots
Right,
on the
it's not
banana.
rotten.
Yeah, overly ripe. It would not be as enjoyable as a fresh banana. I mean, if you don't like bananas, it's doubly worse. And if you don't like tomatoes, it's triply worse.
This is the worst one for me
I'm like,
personally.
you let bananas get overripe so you can use them in recipes and stuff. So
Okay,
it's all
good.
good.
Okay, follow-up questions. Do I have to consume the bananas as like in their dick
Yes.
form? Oh my god!
Yes, you have to peel and eat the banana.
So I can't. So I
That's
can't.
gonna be
Yeah.
hard.
Tomatoes the same way. I just eat that like a goddamn caveman.
Like an apple.
Yeah, just eat that tomato.
Oh my god! I fucking hate. Like, these are my two most disliked.
I don't like eating bananas or tomatoes in their raw form either. So I mean, but I'm the evil Jin, so this is my fun.
Man, this is vile. I guess I'd pick bananas because they're dick shaped.
Okay.
Gonna hate every
Makes
day of my
sense.
life.
Solid.
I don't know. Tomato. I think banana would just be easier to eat. Like overly ripe. I can't taste anyway, so this is moot.
This is another like doesn't matter to Rob scenario.
Yeah.
Oh, I knew it wouldn't matter. I don't care about it.
Yeah, I'll just eat the banana because you know how many foods are shaped like peas.
The best foods.
All the good ones.
Yeah, the best foods.
All the good ones.
Yeah.
So we'll just do that.
I had some breakfast sausage wrapped in pancake on a stick like a corn dog for breakfast today from Jimmy Dean. They're so good.
That
It sounds good,
Sounds like pure evil. It
but I
really
can't
does.
eat that.
It is so good. You can only have one, right? Like you eat any
It's-
more than that, it's like
Oh, I'll take
It's
that.
probably pretty rich, huh?
Yeah, it's the same advisory that Mike Haspil gave to me back in 2007. The first time I was in Chicago, we went to Giordano's Pizza Place.
Oh,
He said, "You may have 2 slices, Kenny. 3, and you will
don't
shit.
order a
And you will
pizza.
shit the bed."
Yeah. I was like, that's 2, and 2's pushing it. Like,
I had 3 my first time, and it punished me.
yeah. It's not normal pizza.
And I shit the bed. He was right. It was it transcended code brand.
It's so good.
All right. Thank you for punishing me, evil Jin.
you're welcome.
That scenario in which my life, this is so much worse than having the evil twin who's trying to kill me all the time. This is so much worse than having to eat a jar of Miracle Whip every day, which counts as mayonnaise. I can find no joy in my life now.
This Dijin's out to get you, dude.
Well, I lulled him into a false sense of security. I threw a bunch of softballs the past couple of weeks, and then
Yep.
hit him with the hard
Poop
one.
and spiders, it's more funny than discomforting. You know, like carrying my
I
pea
said you
jar
were
around
having
with
a
me.
good time, but it's not about having a good time.
This is my Hellraiser universe that I'm in.
Here's a bunch of bananas.
It's literally just rotten tomatoes and rotten bananas in a room. There's no like Cinnabites torturing me, nothing. They're just like, here you go, asshole.
Yeah.
Like, can I go to the torture room instead, please? Get the fuck out of here.
Kenny's here for a good time, not a long time.
All right. Rob,
Is this
do it. We got it. This is a Memorial News Desk Rob Baer with extended court case edition. Rob?
I'm just gonna go over new releases and stuff first. I think, because there's new releases. GW put out a big statement curiously, it came out an hour and a half after mine, 5:30 in the morning, when I was like, hey, I think GW's shutting down soon. And, well, there's a lot of stuff going on over there. And it's either this, or this. And we'll see. Maybe we'll still get releases. Maybe we won't. And they're like, hey, we're still open some places and not here. And, well, the thing that bothered me about this statement, and we'll get into that, but they're staying open. Their warehouses, apparently, they're pushing stuff out. They're going to have new releases. But the new releases that are going out for the second week in a row, they're even more allocated than they were last week. So I don't know what's going on.
More sounds like good though. More allocated in a good way.
You mean less allocations?
Even more allocated, which means there's less, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I said it wrong.
No, I think
more restricted.
They're more restricted. There's less product available to stores.
Yeah.
Way less. So let me just run it down real quick. So there's a new holiday figure. It's basically Joseph Bugman in the Overlord's armor. Basically, he's a dwarf, right? $35. And I think that it's on sale for a couple of weeks. Then there's 4 box sets for the new Age of Sigmar Morathi book. Book 1 of the Broken Realms.
Which one is that? Is that like the Dark Elves?
Yeah, that's smart. Yeah, you might have seen a model. She's like a big Medusa serpent, and she also has a little figure where she's just a normal person. And now they got a data sheet in there, or a War Scroll, where you can play them both at the same time.
She's like Frieza.
Oh,
she has
interesting.
multiple forms.
I'm in.
Yes,
I'm hooked.
she does. So she's trying to become a god. So basically what all this means, Broken Realms, there's probably going to be an Age of Sigmar 3.0 next summer, because everything we've seen, every trend when they come out with these campaign books, multiple books, they're a lead up to a new edition. So they give you all these dope rules, and then you got to reboot the battle tomes or the codex books. Where have we seen that before, right? So it looks good, and the story's cool if you follow, the Age of Sigmar realms, but do you want to spend the money on these books, right? And if you can even find them, because they're restricted to 1 to each store. So there's 4 battalion boxes coming out, which are a little bit of a savings. It seems like they're trying to cap it at like $40-$50-ish. The Black Watch is $100. The Iron Reapers are $90. The Shadow Pack is $90, and the Blood Surf Hunt, those are the fish people. I don't know Thiepkin. Those are $90 as well.
I love those guys.
They're pretty dope looking. Like, I like the whole concept of it. The Shadow and Pain box, which they did a whole GW preview on this stuff, y'all. Like, let me put it in perspective. They did a whole weekend Saturday preview, and then they did another one that was basically on the same stuff with a little bit more Blood Bowl and some of the specialist games, but not a whole lot. So they devoted 2 whole previews, all the staff, all the marketing, all of this effort, all of these dollars, right? Which they're paying the staff anyways, because of COVID and everything. So, I mean, I get it. They're still working, but at the end of the day, they're putting a lot of money and stuff into this, and they're sending out like 1 and 2 copies to stores. Like, it's like very curious. So that's what my article about, hey, GW silent as these issues are kind of piling up is, in my opinion, right? If you're sending 1 and 2 of these boxes to stores, like a whole big bundle box, it's $170 for the Shadow and Pain box. New Slanesh, new Slanesh models, new Daughters of Cain models. Well, 2, they do the characters, right? There is actually a squad in there. But at the end of the day, like, remember, you get these bundle boxes, Indominus, like 30, then it was 50, then it was 30, then it was back to 30, whatever. But why are you going to put all this effort into all this marketing to only give out 2 and 3 of these to stores, right? The Morathi book itself, if you play Age of Sigmar and there's 4 armies worth of updates in this book, chances are you might need this book, right? It's limited 1 to stores, 1 to local game stores. So like, you literally have to like fist fight somebody out in the parking lot to get this damn book for your armies, or pay a lot more money on the secondary market.
Survival of the fittest, the strongest deserves the codex.
Absolutely.
That's pretty violent. You can always just jerk off a hobo.
There is that too. Dirty Mike and the boys could be there. Now, the thing that Age of Sigmar does have going for it in this scenario is you can still buy the digital Battletome books, and you can also get them inside the app, which costs $1 a month.
Oh my God, it's so much better.
Anyways, Space Marine Heroes 3 is also coming out. It's the dispenser, the blind box. Those are those fresh Death Guard models. Unfortunately, the Playcaster model only comes in the paint set, which still apparently is a Japanese exclusive, unfortunately. There's some up on eBay if you really want it. It is actually a good value because there's full-size pots in there. Just, try not to overpay too bad on it because everything's super crazy right now. Those are going to be $72. The Broken Realms Marathi book, it's a hardback. It's going to be $40.
Wait, what's $72? Describe that to me again.
The Death Guard. So it's like Magic card packs. Like you get a box.
The Japanese heroes.
Yeah. It's got the Death Guard. It's the Death Guard.
So they're like $7 for one, or you can buy like a box which contains what, 16.
It doesn't say, but it's $72. So I think there's a bit of a discount there.
Yeah, because like each box contains, I think it's like 2 rows of 6. I was like 12.
Yes, there's 6 in the set.
Right, but they're random, and you can get duplicates. Right, so you can either buy like a box the way you would buy a box of booster packs, or you can buy one which comes with one model for like $7.
I love it. I don't like that. These are going to be allocated heavily or restricted allocations.
So there's a three of the booster boxes to stores.
Fuck, man. These are like my favorite Death Guard models.
Yeah. I mean, the same thing is going to happen when they release the Space Marine Heroes is like people are just going to buy the box rather than a single one, right?
Yeah. They did mention that you could get the complete set, the complete guaranteed set on Warhammer Community, but that apparently isn't an allocation out to stores. So I don't know if it's going to be a web exclusive or not. So I went through and I did the math on if I'm a game store and I get one of everything, or I get one of everything I'm allocated, right, from GW, and I buy it all and I sell it all. I resell it all that weekend. I turn it, right?
How much money do you make?
$635.
Oh.
And that's assuming that you sell it all.
That's
right?
a lot of moving parts for $600.
So you might remember when we did that breakdown of how much it costs to have a game table, how much it costs to have Magic tables in the store, and I'm referring back to that because this is a fixed cost. This is a fixed asset. If you sell 40K and you have a big 40K community or any tabletop game, Sigmar, whatever, maybe some of the other stuff, you need gaming tables, 4x6 gaming tables. You're probably going to have a couple. Most better run stores probably have 4 of these tables. So I think that's what we used in the breakdown. And most stores that have a good card game scene probably have about 8 card gaming tables, right? I know Haspil can probably say, I think Gamers Haven has more. I know of a couple stores here locally that have.
Yeah. Gamers Haven has more, but Gamers Haven is unusual in that fact.
Yeah. Cause they kind of have a whole
whole section that's dedicated to that.
But I mean, that's a lot of cost, right? And all of that retail space or all of that square footage is just taking up space right now. So if you do the math on how much it costs to have 4 gaming tables and 8 Magic card tables, which I feel like is within most 1,500 to 2,000 square foot stores kind of wheelhouse, give or take, that's to break even. And when I say break even, you never really want to say break even in retail. To break even, you need to sell $2,400 worth of stuff a month. But if you sell $2,400 worth of stuff, that's not paying rent. That's not paying your air conditioning, which we all know game stores need. That's not paying, electricity, somebody to run the place, nothing. That is literally just to
holds hard square footage displacement in your retail location.
Yes. So you really need to sell a lot more than that. And these are all approximations. I don't have the exact very dollar on it. And it's all written up over on Spiky Bits. You can check it out.
Yeah, you have a really well put together article on
it. The point of this is that if GW keeps these allocations up, these stores that obviously nobody's even using these game tables in a lot of cases, right? But they're still there. You still got to pay rent on this stuff, right? If you have to bring in and sell out that stuff to make $600 a week, like you can't even really, depending on what's going on the card scene side, you can't survive. You can't have that play area and only bring in that much product and turn that much product. And the whole time Games Workshop is also not filling restock orders, right? So they put the priority on new releases. They're getting new releases to stores. In a lot of cases, maybe they mess up, but they can pretty much get the numbers they want, except for the Indominus thing. And we covered that a lot. So now restock orders are taken, 2 weeks, 14 days or whatever. So the opportunity to turn that merchandise is a lot slower. They're coming in, 6-page invoices are coming in 25% fill rate. Again, you just waited 2 weeks. Now you got 25%, 25 lines instead of, 6 pages. Like these factors are really making it tough for game stores, right? And I think we talked a lot about last week how, I'm like, well, Games Workshop could be playing the shell game with stock too. That's obviously an option. Like, hey, we took pre-orders, then we figured out, oh, everybody wanted this many. Oh, we could shuffle around this much to selling at our stores and selling online and pad our wallets. But full disclosure, if you go and look at all the pre-orders up on GW's site right now for this week, all the Space Wolf stuff, the Deathwatch stuff, the Outrider stuff, a lot of that stuff is already sold out pre-order-wise. So it's possible that, maybe they moved around stock, but it's also possible that they didn't really have that much to begin with either. Mm-hmm. So it's really hard to say definitively what's going on, but it's I feel like...
I think part of I think it's two things. The first part is I think they're not able to produce the numbers that they need. And they're unwilling to say that because being vocal about a problem like that is going to make your stock prices fall.
100%.
And the second part is their organization for inventory across their web store and their retail stores is a clusterfuck. It's dog shit. They don't have an inventory indication at the point of sale, and they don't have like a stop at the point of sale if something sells out. So you have situations where people will pay full price for pre-order and then not get it because they don't have it. They sold too many, right? And then that's why people get so upset is because like if you really, really badger a GW retail location, they'll give you cash, but it's like you have to be a real Karen about it. And like you have to like contact like the regional store like manager or whatever of where that store is. Basically you have to take it to corporate. Because their policy is like they don't give cash. They don't give cash refunds. So like we can give you store credit for stuff in here, but we don't give out cash unless you really get after them, right? So like that's where you see a lot of frustration where people are like, I paid full price at a Games Workshop store on pre-order day. It said it was in stock when I pre-ordered it. And then a week rolls by, you come to get your stuff, and they're just like, yeah, we just don't got it, dude. They're like, well, give me my money back. They're like, yeah, can't. We'll give you store credit though for stuff you don't want. That's cool, because they don't want to be giving out cash. That's part of the whole thing. It's like there's even like when I was working the store, we even had a thing that's like part of the Better Business Bureau stuff. Is that like if somebody wants a refund and it like falls under the purview of like what's eligible for a refund, you have to give them a refund in cash or whatever they want, right? But they play this like game where they're like, well, we don't do that. And then you ask them again, they're like, no, we really don't do that. And then like on the third try, if you're like, well, just, call up like your regional manager or like corporate or whatever. And that's sort of like the cheat code to get your money. Otherwise they're just like, yeah, we don't do that. And most people take that at face value. And so it's like, it's incredibly frustrating, but also like just from like a business ethics point of view, like you shouldn't do that, right? Like you need to have organization in place with your computer system so that it's like, if you have 500 of a unit, you don't sell 600 units, right?
Agreed.
And they did the same thing to independent stores. It's like you pre-order your book, you pre-order your cards, and they're like, here's all the books that were pre-ordered, but here's like 5 out of the 15 cards. And then the customer is left in a situation where now they're upset with the local store because it's like, well, I paid for that. And GW is like, yeah, sorry. And then the onus is on the local store to give a refund, and they need that money. Like they need every sale they can get to stay open. And then they're just like, yeah, fuck you, I guess. GW is just being really, really shitty about this whole thing. And I think part of it is, most of it is due to incompetence. Like their operating system, like their retail point of sale system is so outdated and poorly managed. It's laughable.
I think there's, I don't have any insight into the inner infrastructure at GW. I just know a lot about like reporting and things you can glean from the internet and talking to the store managers that I talk to. I think, I hadn't had that kind of customer service experience with them. Anytime I have an issue, usually it would get resolved. Matter of fact, I have an issue I'm going to have to resolve with them very soon on retail side, but I'll report back on that. But I think, that's obviously pretty bluster for sure. But the point I wanted to make about all this is it's really hard to kind of tell at this point. Although I feel like we know that there's a breakdown in the system. We don't know exactly what it is. They're not really talking about it because, if you look at their stock price from the middle of March till now, it is bananas. Like ridiculous crazy. Bananas. Like I was like, is this wrong? Is this Australian? Like what is this numbers? This is crazy. So they're obviously, less you say, the better. But they're not getting stuff out. And here's the problem. Here's my would you rather. Would you guys rather not have game stores to go to play because they can't support themselves because either they're not getting the product they need or GW's allocating the crap out of them or would you rather just paint and hobby at home? Because that's realistically what it could come down to very soon. Yeah.
I think though that there's a false onus being placed on Games Workshop for the survival of local stores.
Okay.
I understand that it's like, but like this, if your store is like, we all know about the Magic stores, right? That only sell Magic. If you're a game store and you're only selling one product, you're going to go out of business.
Yeah,
you're going to go out of business. It's not.
And I mean, the GW stores are propped up by GW. A lot of them in the reporting I've seen are not profitable.
Oh, they constantly lose money.
Yeah, they're a loss leader. They're there to
here in
be
the
ambassadors
States. Here
for
in
the
the
hobby.
States.
Right.
Yeah, they're to be ambassadors to the hobby. But if you're running a game store, even a comic book store, well, the comic book store is a real bad example because they're just all gone now. They will be.
But a comic book store combined with a retail store that sells gaming stuff is a good proposition.
Is a good. You have to diversify, and so it's like it. I do think that there is a breakdown. I do think that GW is having supply chain and distribution issues across the board, because just when you go to their website to try to find some stuff and you can't order stuff because that's a nightmare. That is an absolute nightmare because you know that the demand is there and you can't sell your product. And
yes,
I think there's also a disconnect within the company, right? Because you have one division that is the production / distribution side of things going, hey, our factory is shut down. We can't make this stuff. We can't do all this other stuff, everything else. This other side is your PR side, and PR is not going to stop. They're promoting. They're selling, and then you don't have product. It's a nightmare.
And I think that one of the big issues here is they need, in my opinion, to pump the brakes and get organized and stop spending all this money on promoting things when you can't even get any sort of meaningful quantity to the stores. And it's almost like you put the store owner in this really weird position. Now, obviously, if you're not positioned well as a business owner, none of this even makes sense. So most stores that already have a diversified, that are doing well or still around, have a diversified product mix to sell. But there's issues, like you said, with comics. There's Wizards of the Coast is having issues now with Magic, and they've been selling directly on Amazon. They've been doing different special releases on their websites. There's no organized play for them right now, which was a lot of getting people into the store and actually spending money on singles. People are still building decks and they're still playing, but they're not, necessarily playing as much as they used to at the stores. It's not on Games Workshop to prop up local game stores. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying there needs to be they need to take a look, because sending this amount of quantity doesn't matter for anybody. All it does is put the game store owner in a weird position. Like, do I eBay this stuff? Do I wait? Like, what do I do with it? Because I know I can get more if I eBay it, or I put it on the, up on the secondary market for sure, because there's a shortage. Is some releases better than no releases?
Rob, so your would you rather, which is a really good, I don't know, almost another SAT level analogy. Would you obviously we'd rather have a fucking place to go play.
Right. Not everybody has room to put a game store in their house.
Obviously we would rather. And Haspil, well stated, man, about putting the false onus of the responsibility on GW. You're right. It's not their fucking responsibility. Absolutely not. I could not agree with you more. This has always come down to that thing. I know I've said this before, but it's I just want somebody at GW, a CEO, just to be this is the direction. You have to fucking believe me, guys. And just because obviously then Wyatt made the point about the stock, the shareholding, they probably have supply chain issues, COVID shit, right? They got issues. Yeah. And then you made a great point about, production. I mean, PR ain't going to stop. They're not even really probably communicating with production very well. And then Rob's they need to pump the brakes. He comes down to you need to be committed to the long term. They need someone in there that shows some fucking strength. Understand that it might look bad today, but that's not reflective of our goal. There needs to be a vision. There needs to be a fucking actual leader who steps up and says, the vision is, guys, that we're in this together. Because without the local game stores being ambassadors, bringing people in with this diverse crowd, making new friends, because at a GW store, we just bring in people who are interested in GW. But game stores bring in everybody, and they may get interested in GW. This is the there needs to be a fucking clear and concise action plan, a real course, and then someone needs to have the strength to know that the shares may look bad for a little while.
Right.
And
part of keeping the community alive is having that place to play.
Right.
If you live in a town, or if you're in your area and there is not a place for people to congregate to play this game, then there is no community for that game. Right. You might know maybe one or two buddies, and they'll paint it or so, whatever. But to have 40K flourish, it needs to have a community, and it shows. The reason that 40K is the most played miniatures war game, as a community in the world, is because of those places to play, and because you have a store that you can go to that has the stuff that you need to buy, right? And then for stores that do not stock certain games, those games have no community there, right?
That's true.
It's if you don't sell Star Wars Legion on your shelves, nobody's there to play Star Wars Legion, right? There is no community there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And so no, they are not responsible for propping up game stores in their time of need. But at the same time, there's something to be said about doing them dirty by bad business practices due to.
Yeah. And that's where I think we have a difference of opinion, because I do think what you're saying is right, that they're not responsible for the game store, but they have a responsibility to be a partner, a good partner.
Well, they refer to them as partner store,
right? But I don't think that they're what they're going through right now is necessarily malicious. That's why I'm I don't, because let's think of it this way. Your factory, you go, hey, we know this next book is going to be huge, right? And the factory goes, well, we're down at 25% capacity. We can make you 100 books. Well, now you have two options. You can say, we're going to keep all 100 books and just sell them online. We're just going to sell them online. That way, the first 100 people that
for
bust into our
40% more
website
profit
get a book.
Like,
right?
Let's make it double.
Or you can try to go, you know what? We can send one book to 100 stores. But there's no right answer there. There's no winner.
True. No.
True. Right. So
I agree.
I fully, like, we talked about this last week where it's like, from a business standpoint, like, you are a Games Workshop, right? So like your priority is our business cannot fail. So all of your decisions are made around our business in this trying time cannot fail, right? But long term, if you are doing bad business with your independent retailers and those independent retailers go under, then the community that they fostered also dries up, which long term post-COVID stuff, like it kills a lot of it. It already has.
But
in a
it's
lot
not
of
a bad business practice. What I'm trying to say is it's not a bad business practice if you don't have the product.
Yeah.
Bad business practice might be the wrong phrase. It's more like a dumb business practice.
What I'm talking about is through not being transparent or incompetence, like maybe a mixture of both, you sell more units than you have, right? Because you are unwilling to be transparent with your independent retailers. And thus we get this situation where it's like, I bought this product from, like, not me personally, but like I bought this product through this store, and Games Workshop is like, yeah, we're just not going to send you that because we don't got it. Like, you should not allow, like, you need to tell them, it's like, we have X units. You can make this many pre-orders and you will have this much shelf stock.
Correct.
And that way, like, that situation doesn't happen, because Games Workshop, they can eat that if that happens at their own retail location. But if I go to Game Castle or whatever your local store is called, and you pre-order a book or some models or a card, and then it's just like, well, I bought this, I pre-ordered this, and Games Workshop is just like, yeah, we're not gonna give that to you.
Right. And
well, now you have to get a refund from that store, which fucks them over because they need it.
Part of my opinion that's different is that at my friendly local game store, when I pre-order something, I don't pay for it. So that creates a very different situation. Because if I walk in on Saturday and go, hey man, do you have my Death Watch and Space Wolf codices? And they go, no, because we only got 2 and people have already bought them. I'm butthurt because I didn't get the books, but I am not out any money.
Right. I guess that's just a difference in like just buyer philosophy. Like I've always believed in, like, because like in the past, if you wanted to guarantee that you got something, you prepaid for it. Right. And this is going back to other stuff too, like whether it be like buying a new movie when it comes out on DVD, or like buying a video game when it's up on pre-order or something like that. Like if you don't prepay for it, it doesn't guarantee that you're actually going to get it. And I want to guarantee that I get the thing that I want. Right. And also during this time, you know, like I don't want to be in a situation where it's like I pre-order something through my local store and they really need that sale, and then it gets to that day and they get that product and I'm just like, maybe I don't really want it or whatever, right? Like I want to help them out. So again, for the reason of guaranteeing that I get what I want, I prepay for it fully, and that also helps out my store.
Yeah, you're a team player. The thing is, this is GW. Yeah, the thing is, I agree with Mike. Like it's not like an immoral, like, and this is actually was the conclusion of our Indominus court cases. Like it wasn't. Yeah. I think we actually have enough evidence now to like actually fully conclude it's not like about being immoral. It could be a combination of miscommunication, incompetence, as Wyatt has pointed out, with their whole computer system, and they are trying.
Their computer system runs on like Windows 2000,
and
which is really bad. I'm not even like, no, I know hyperbolic because I work the store. It's like a lot of times stores don't even know what their inventory is because it's so unorganized.
Yeah, no,
in the system.
I believe you, but I think it's an unfortunate. I think it's a mismanagement of what their priorities should be, like what they believe. Like this is the right move, right? This is what we need to be doing to get through this. I just have a different opinion. I think you should be more of a team player, GW. I think you should show a little bit more community leadership, and I think you should be willing to eat a little bit of that profit right now and come up with a better action plan. That you can't save everyone, you can't make everyone happy, but by doing what you're doing right now, you're making everyone mad. Making it, you know, like now, I just don't think that's the logical.
In my mind, like if you have a sales account with a company and they're not being transparent with you, and you get in that situation where it's like Games Workshop knows how many units they have, right? Because they made the production order. So they know. But they're not telling your independent retailer. And then they themselves, even GW, sold too many, right? Because you have people that still to this day who went into a Games Workshop retail location, pre-ordered from the retail location itself, have still not gotten their Space Marine Codex from like a month ago, right? Because they themselves sold way too many. So it's not just the independent retailers that are having an issue with this, it's GW itself. And it's just transparency. Like you need to have something built into your system at the point of sale that's like, oops, sorry, we're out. I can't sell you this because there are no more units available.
Like Rob would agree. I think Rob would agree with that. Like transparency in all things makes everything
And it's
better.
like, if you're worried about it getting out, like make your independent retailers sign a fucking NDA. It's not hard.
I've been hearing Rob basically preach that forever. Like they were just transparent about things. Like everyone.
Yeah.
Every business, like.
I think transparency goes a long ways. I don't think we'll ever see it from GW. They're a little far too controlling. I think we can all agree in most of their practices. I do want to point out that the very next day, 2 days after all these allocations and stuff, they put up an announcement that everybody can go to their local Games Workshop store this weekend and get a free miniature. They can also collect a coin. There's 12 spots in the little portfolio, and you can get a coin for whatever the new release is that week. And also you can buy paints, buy 10, get 1 free.
Yeah. I already talked about this with you, Rob, on what my opinion was, but I'll wait for you to.
Well, I think it's an interesting backdrop to all this happening simultaneously. And again, it could be the retail side, not talking to the promotion side, not talking to these people and these people over here. There's a lot of different angles to it. Like if you live in an area with a GW store, which in a lot of cases, there's a GW store in areas that sell a lot of 40K because they have access to that data. They know where to put the stores, not dum-dums. But some people aren't even near one, so it doesn't matter to them. But the folks that maybe already were in an area, for instance, I'm in an area that had established game stores. Then GW came, right? Those established game stores aren't exactly happy by this announcement.
No.
But, it's just a really interesting series of events.
When we were talking, we all agreed you can't play games at a GW store. They're too small. They have one demo table, maybe 2, and that's it. And they won't allow people to play on them anyway. What that sounds to me, and believe me, if I had a GW store near me and they were offering this, I'd be in there like a shot to get those collectible coins. Right? I'd be like, what do I need to do to get these coins? I don't care about the free model. I don't care about the free paint, but the coins, they're going to get me in the door in there. And then I'm probably going to buy something. It's going to be a paint pot or whatever, just something. But this sounds to me like bait, right? This is your come on in, buy one, get one free. This is, hey, if you buy my book, I throw in an extra short story that you also get if you sign up for the mailing list. That's what we call a reader bait or reader draw. And that's what this sounds like to me. It sounds like in this era of COVID, these loss leader stores are losing even more. And so they're like, how do we get people in here? Give them a free model. Doesn't cost very much. Give them a free paint pot if they buy 10. And hey, we can manufacture these coins that if we do it in bulk, it's not going to cost a lot, and it really doesn't mean anything, but it's just something kind of cool. And it's to get people, to draw people in. But it sounds to me like that they're in more trouble than, you know what I mean? It's the free comic book day kind of thing. Hey, come into our comic book store and you get 10 of these comics and you can get a free comic.
Yeah, and they always had like the free intercessor dude to paint up or the free Necron to paint up, but now it's a little bit more focused. And obviously some planning went into this. Those coins are made overseas. The boxes, all the retail stuff, it's all made overseas, brought in, distributed out, right? So this was planned at some stage, either pre or post COVID, hard to say, right? But yes, it is definitely designed to get folks into stores. But I think at the end of the day, we talked about all these things that are very important. Like game stores can't exist if one of their main lines that they have these very fixed costs for, game tables and Magic tables combined together, they just can't survive off bringing in and selling out $600 worth of stuff each week. Like it's just not enough stuff for any one of their main lines. Now, if that's their only line, they're probably already out of business, in my opinion. But unfortunately, that's
Rob, it's not your job to coach every game store on the correct way to make profit. Right. It's just like a comment to like, I get it.
I think that the size GW is right now could not sustain itself if the local game stores went out of business in America.
No,
there would be a shrinkage for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people are still going to buy their models. They're still going to paint their models at home, and they might go to tournaments, and that's great. But the size and the infrastructure that GW is right now accounts for more than 50% of the revenue here in the States. And
yeah. And I mean, like, if you have a GW retail location in your town, right, you might be able to go and play. Like some stores let you play, some stores don't, right? So it's not really a guaranteed thing of having that like communal space to, enjoy this hobby with other people. But they're not Starbucks. I think there's like a little under 200 stores in North America. That's accounting for Canada too. And if the community of local game stores goes under, which many already have, right? Like saying they'll bounce back is fine. Like some stores, yes, they will bounce back. A lot of stores have already shut their doors forever.
Yep.
And when you're a small business owner and something like that happens, you're not going to, like, oh, well, this COVID thing will blow over and then I'll just invest my life savings again. No, all that's gone. Like that store is dead and done, right? It's not coming back. And some stores may have closed temporarily and tried to reopen again. Other stores are backed by like larger chains or something like that. So they might be able to take the hit a little bit better. But yeah, long term, if this keeps going on, like stores are going to close, the communities are going to dry up. And it's like, if you don't live in a town where there's a GW location, like that could just be the end of Warhammer for you, unless you're willing to drive like 2 hours to the next town over once a month to play in a tournament. And you may not even want to play in tournaments. So that's just out for you.
Yeah.
Since we have you here, I was going to ask you, because we have another segment to do still, and we didn't have you last time, so we didn't have like somebody who can like give us like a big conclusion to like, because these are a lot of things that just came out. Like there's a lot.
I have a kind of a solution, right? And there's two ways to do this, and one of them I would not recommend. But in the Great Depression, on book sales, book retailers were not taking chances buying new books because they weren't guaranteed they could sell them. So the publisher essentially guaranteed that if books didn't sell, those bookstores could send the books back for a refund. That is one solution. I would not recommend doing that. But the other solution is it would require a lot of legwork on GW reps. Call these local retailers. What's on your shelves? What's sitting there? What hasn't sold? Right? And then you start dropping hot rules for that stuff in White Dwarf to move that product that is already on the shelves. Right? Because you're not able, we agree they're not able for whatever reason. They're not able to put out new stuff in the numbers that people want them. Right. So you call around and you say, hey, what's sitting on your shelves right now? Well, I'm holding a ton of Termagants and a bunch of AdMech stuff, and it's just not moving. It's been there since last year. Right. Or some IG stuff or whatever. Right. And so you're just like, okay, we're going to have to, like Rob says, pump the brakes. We had a plan. Obviously, 2020 threw that right out the window. We're going to pump the brakes on this plan. And our new thing is have every rep get on the phone, call your people, start finding out what they have stagnant on the shelves. I guarantee you're going to come up with a top 5.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You're going to compile a pretty solid list. That's funny because that's like a right out the cuff, really innovative plan, man.
Yeah, so you come up with a top 5, and then you just start dropping the hotness in White Dwarf. And people will buy those products. People will buy them.
I love that. That's an innovative right out the gate.
Yeah, that is a
like.
Right. I definitely agree with that. It's a good idea.
It's a fucking.
Yeah, I think so. I think at the end there, I want to finish up Tabletop Market Watch with some other products.
There's a bunch of retailers laughing, like my sweet summer child, because independent sales reps are some of the worst employees that GW has.
They are
like the dealing with independent sales reps. If you're a retailer, is like the worst part of your week when you sell GW product, and it's because there's a lot of people still employed by Games Workshop that were part of the company during the Kirby years, and they kind of got pivoted. Like, they didn't get like demoted, but it's like a parallel move, whatever that's called.
Lateral shift.
Yeah, they just moved. Yeah, they moved them over there, and it's like, I mean, I don't think it's everybody, but I know a lot of people in the industry. I know a lot of people in the industry. People fucking hate their independent sales reps with Games Workshop. It is like the worst. And so
I'm sorry to hear that. I didn't know.
No, but I mean, like it's an amazing idea. I wish the Games Workshop would be magnanimous enough to like take a hit for the player base, for the community, as like just like a gesture like that. But they won't, and that's kind of why I'm cynical about the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a good idea. I wish it could be implemented. I wish there was a strategic vision to getting through this, or trying to make everything work. But I don't think there is, and I don't think it's gotten the worst. I don't think we've seen the worst yet, unfortunately. So
I don't think we've seen the worst across the board. Like not just gaming wise, just everything.
Right.
But
unfortunately, I feel like Games Workshop, like their priority is that stock number. It's like how much their stock is selling for, and
100%.
That's going to be everything. Like I wish that Games Workshop would be in a situation where they would just like take one for the team and like help out the community and do something like that, because like their mentality is like, our stock prices are going through the roof. Like we're still selling stuff. If people get pissed off and leave, we can always get new customers. Like turnaround's always been pretty high. It's like they just don't care, right?
Yeah, I hope they'll do better, because what we have right now is not good, but it's kind of the times we're in. So it's like being a store owner is challenging, maybe being GW is challenging. It's just one of those things. But there's other products to talk about out there. Lots of other people have cool stuff. So let's talk about that. And then we can get into rules and stuff. So if you saw the pregame, you probably saw that Elric's Hobbies came out with a line of not Necron bases. They're called Tomb World. Mm-hmm. But if you play Necrons, they look really nice on them.
Kind of. I'm annoyed by them because when I saw them, I was like, damn it. Those are kind of mandatory. So I was just like,
Yeah, they're pretty fresh.
They're pretty awesome.
I think it was the first ones they designed in 3D.
Yeah,
they look good.
They're very cool.
They're very cool.
Speaking of 3D, Pop Goes the Monkey has a new line of not Sagittarium Terminators. They're called the Invader Terminators over on his store. I think we talked about them or something. Maybe it was the Dread Knight weapons, but there might be
Terminators.
Yes, yeah. Saturnine.
Definitely not a copyrightable unit from Games Workshop.
No, not at all. So those are out, and there's going to be power weapons and accessories to come out with them very shortly as well. So be on the lookout for that. And I think, it's pretty affordable compared to the plastic, and they look pretty.
I had a phone call with Matt today about those Terminators. We're going to do a promo in December. I might be painting some Death Guard.
Oh,
solid.
You may be getting a phone call from him too.
I already did. It's what I got to talk to you about after this. Anyways, the Army Painter came out with a line of metallic paints, including a one they call Fairy Dust, which it's kind of like a metalizer if you're familiar with that. It's pretty fresh.
Like a metallic medium.
Yeah, like a metallic medium.
Nice.
Exactly.
Ooh, spicy.
The set is pretty dope. The colors you might remember. Oh yeah, Kenny's got one right there.
Mr. Big Dick over there already got it. Cool.
Yeah. There's also a contest too in one of the boxes. I think 3 of the boxes is going to have like a 24 karat or 22 karat. I guess you can't have 24 karat. One of those carats, gold brush inside, which would be pretty nice to get.
How do you paint with it?
I don't think it's for painting, but maybe it is. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
It gets you a tour to their paint factory.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, everybody go out and buy this one.
Just don't touch anything.
Yeah.
My favorite 2 colors out of the set.
I don't have the brush.
You don't? You checked?
Just now.
My 2 favorite colors are glitter green. I have a set too.
Ooh.
This reminds me of the old glistening green from Games Workshop back when they were in the hex pots.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's old. That's going back a ways.
I don't know.
That is old, yeah.
This
Which hex pots?
The coat d'arms looking ones.
Oh, those are the old ones. Okay.
Those are pretty fresh.
They had those ones with like the black pop tops for a while.
Yeah, those.
That was the paint when I got in. That was the standard.
I think there was the screw top, then the flip top, then the one before we got now. This one was like late 80s, early 90s. I don't know. Haspil probably remembers.
Oh shit.
Yeah. It was like early 90s.
These were great for like view screens and stuff, and then you could put like a little radar. And then they had this fresh color called Azure Magic. If you're watching in stream, this is perfect for Alpha Legion. Like I saw that, I was like, ooh, that's Alpha Legion color. But there's a whole bunch of different colors, so check them out. The set is $32.50. So I don't know if they're going to be selling them separate on the racks, but this is on pre-order and it'll be coming out very soon. And last but certainly not least, Creature Caster. I don't know if you heard about this one, but they got a dragon coming out. And this dragon is huge. It is.
Really?
It dwarfs their biggest model. It's like 3 times as tall as their biggest model. It's going to be a limited edition order cycle. It starts on November 27th, it looks like. The base size is 160 millimeters, and it is 370 millimeters tall.
Whoa.
I shan't ever paint it.
It is ginormous. It will be $195.
Oof.
Okay. Yeah, that's actually not that bad because I was like, you're beginning to talk like it's Smaug proportions, but Smaug is hella expensive. So
wasn't he like $400?
Yeah, 500.
I think it's 4 or 5. Yeah,
Jesus.
500 American denarii.
Actually, I take it back. It's only 2 times as big as their biggest model. I'm looking at a picture of it, but it's still pretty big. 370 millimeters tall.
That's a thick boy.
Yeah. They're gonna have pre-orders open for that Black Friday weekend, of course. So be looking out for more on that. There's like a limited art print that comes with it and such. What is that in inches? I don't know. 25 millimeters per inch. Let me do the math on it real quick.
Freedom units.
It's 12
inches.
Yeah, it's over 12 inches.
It's definitely over 12 inches. It's 14.56 inches. Is big.
370.
So,
yeah, that's huge.
Be looking for that very, very soon. Also, I put out a post on the site. If you're a retailer and you are going to be having a Black Friday sale or a manufacturer.
The annual Spiky Bits Black Friday post.
That's right. We only had, I say only, but we only had like 30 different sales on there last year. I imagine, hopefully we'll have more this year. Some people are already running Black Friday sales because,
I literally need that post to tell me what to buy every year.
It's usually pretty good. So be looking for that. If you're a retailer or a manufacturer and you're not already on the email list, hit me up. Just sales@spikybits.com. Just need a description, an image, and like basically when it goes live, or if it's live right now, maybe we'll do it like
when and where.
Yep. The W's. We need the W's. So that's all I'm tracking right now.
Today.
What's that?
I was become a member of the Boner Pill of the Month Club today.
That comes free with every click.
Those boner pills. It's not optional. It's mandatory.
I'm gonna need a back order of a ton of boner pills, dude.
Oh, you want your money back? Mm.
No, I want those boner pills. I've clicked on your site like 100 times in the past week. I need like
non-negotiable. Give me my boner pills.
Yeah.
Rob, great job, Rob, bringing the heat on that segment. Let's accelerate this.
This is worthy of Paul Harvey.
Yes, you did it. But let's move into something totally amazing and positive with the Haspil's Corner. We got legendary Mike Haspil, author of Graveyard Shift, back with us today.
Yeah, so I will keep this short because we're running over on time. But I have had to keep a lid on this for a while, and I can finally talk about it. After about 20 some odd years of submitting stories to every open call they have, I am finally going to be a Black Library writer. So it's pretty cool. I sold them a short story, and hopefully that's just the beginning of a long and fruitful relationship.
So dope. So happy for you.
Yeah, it was,
Congrats,
it was
dude.
pretty epic.
My cat's about to clean up this Black Library for us. Make it better.
Did they pay you in models?
They did not, but I would have. I would have. They kind of did pay me in models because I was just like, "Hey, since this is for my job, is this tax deductible now?" Question mark.
I mean,
and then I bought
tax deductible if you
Necromunda
try.
Dark Uprising.
There you go. Nice.
Nailed it.
So
Yeah, are you allowed to tell anyone about the story yet, or that's all you could say?
I'm going to keep it under wraps. I don't have any information on when it's going to. I turned in the first round of edits, and I don't have any information on when it's coming out or where or anything like that. So
Can't wait to see Michael Haspil up on a Black
that's
Library
going to
book.
be a bucket list day for sure.
Michael F. Haspil.
The F stands for fuck.
Yeah, he fucks.
That's him. I don't give. None.
Well, that's amazing, Mike. I'm so happy for you, brother.
Yeah, and what was kind of funny is when I did get paid, it went through my agent, so it just like went digitally into my account, and I was like, "Hey, did they actually send like a check? Because I would really like to have the check just to like frame it or something as like memorabilia." And she was like, "No, but like here's an invoice." And I was just like, in my head, I realized like, that they don't send out like Space Marine checks, you dumbass. like they don't send out a
check with an Aquila on it.
Has an Aquila.
Could you like get down with your like Photoshop guys and just like make me a fake one, please?
Yeah.
It's like from the Bank of Terra. That'd be awesome.
Because that's what I wanted. And in my head, I totally saw this like Games Workshop check with an Aquila on it. And I was like, it's probably not going to look like that. So it's kind of funny.
It's fucking amazing.
Now we need somebody to Photoshop one for sure.
The old Bank of Terra.
Any word on an audio release? Do you know anything about like if they're gonna do an audio release?
I have no idea. I don't know anything about that. They certainly have the option for it because they have they have the rights. It's work for hire. Mm-hmm. So
I hope we get a dope audio book. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to just put it on like playback and have it read to me by my Kindle. I can't.
I mean, you can hire that Matthew McConaughey impersonator for like $20 and he'll read it to you. It'd be pretty dope.
Done. We'll do it. Well, fuck yeah, Mike. It's been so hard not to tell everyone I know that happened.
He really means that.
Oh yeah, it's a struggle.
Yeah.
So I've read it and I can't talk about it and it hurts.
Wyatt the Alpha Reader. God, that's awesome. Man, well, that's fucking amazing.
I had input. There's a direct quote from me in that.
Yes,
story.
there
It
is.
made me very happy.
Yeah.
I wanted another one, but it was like I can't put that in this.
Also put in there, I don't know what to do with my hands.
I mean, that's already that's part of Mike Haspil's normal vernacular. That's in there for sure. So that was an incredibly positive, uplifting piece of information. So let's keep it going. Let's quickly bang out Space Wolf Stratagems, where our one rules thing we have to do because we are a 40K podcast. So let's bang these out.
All right, I got these stratagems. courtesy of Rob. I clicked on the website for these. He owes me 1 boner pill. All right. Go for the throat. 2 CP.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Use the stratagem in your command phase if the assault doctrine is active for your army. Until your next command phase, each time a Space Wolf model from your army makes an attack with a pistol or melee weapon, an unmodified wound roll of 6 increases the AP. These are really hard to read, man. I'm sorry.
I enhanced them.
I'm sorry. Maybe I need reading glasses. I'm trying. So what? It increases the AP value on a roll of a 6.
Yeah.
Is that what happens?
Classic AP4 on a 6.
Yeah. It says you can only use it once per battle.
Just for the whole army or a unit?
Yeah. It's a Space Wolf model just for that turn.
Space Wolf
until the next
unit?
command phase. Yeah. So it's got some restrictions. So you play it in the command phase, and the assault doctrine has to be active. So starting turn 3, 4, 5, and you get it for a full turn.
Is it one of those once per game army wides?
Yeah.
Okay, sick.
Yeah.
That's solid.
Cunning of the Wolf, 1 CP. Use a stratagem during deployment. Select 1 Space Wolves infantry unit from your army. All models in that unit gain the outflank ability.
The outflank as in come on from a board edge, wholly within 6 inches, not more than 9 inches away from an enemy.
Yep.
Dope. Very wolf.
Emperor's Executioners, 1 CP. Use a stratagem in the fight phase when a Space Wolves unit from your army is selected to fight. Until the end of that phase, each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack against a Thousand Suns unit, you can re-roll the hit roll and you can re-roll the wound roll.
Ooh. So really situational, but fluffy.
Yeah.
They all get one. Yeah, everybody
has one.
I mean, like Thousand Suns have one against you.
Yeah. Everybody gets one. Tell them, Peter. Savage Strike, 1 CP or 2 CP. Use a stratagem in your fight phase when a Space Wolves unit from your army is selected to fight. If that unit made a charge move this turn, then when the fight is resolved, each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack, add 1 to that attack's wound roll. If that unit has 5 or fewer models, the stratagem costs 1 CP. Otherwise, it costs 2 CP.
So they have Veterans of the Long War only in close combat, and it's scalable with squad size.
Yes.
Ooh, that's a precedent because that means GW has finally caught on to the value of the best modifier in the game, which is like a wound modifier. And until this moment, really, they've been very, stringent with their distribution of that wording, and now they have it and they pay for it. Very powerful.
Cool.
See, Healing Balms, 1 CP. Use a stratagem at the end of your movement phase. Select 1 Space Wolves infantry, biker, or cavalry model from your army within 3 inches of a friendly Space Wolves wolf priest to be healed. That model regains up to D3 lost wounds. Each model can only be healed once per turn.
Very cool.
Nice. So that's like an apothecary on the fly.
It's a chaplain. Yes. The wolf priest is a chaplain.
Yeah, healing bombs used to be 6 up feel no pain back in the day. So this is cool because this doesn't bring a model back to life, right? This just heals a model. So it's always been like a lesser apothecary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dope.
Let's see. Pack Hunters, 2 CP. Use the stratagem in your charge phase. Select 1 enemy unit within engagement range of any Space Wolves units from your army. Until the end of the turn, each time a friendly Space Wolves beast or cavalry unit declares a charge that targets the selected unit, roll 1 additional d6 and discard 1 of the dice. Until the end of the turn, each time a friendly Space Wolves cavalry model makes an attack with its crushing teeth and claws against the selected unit, and each time a friendly Space Wolves beast model makes an attack with its teeth and claws against the selected unit, you can re-roll the wound roll.
How much is that?
2 CP.
So a pretty fucking handy little stratagem for everyone who's dick hard on Thunderwolf Cavalry.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Because they got the built-in, they can advance and charge, and now they can throw 3 dice, pick the highest, and reroll the wound roll with their mount. 2 CP, that's respectable.
Very solid. Relentless Assault, 1 CP. Use this stratagem in the fight phase when a Space Wolves unit from your army consolidates. Each model in that unit can move up to an additional 3 inches for that consolidation move. This is not cumulative with any other rule that increases the distance models can pile in or consolidate.
But they don't get to choose direction. It's still just normal consolidation rules.
Yeah, it just gives them a really, like a 6-inch consolidation.
I mean, very Space Wolfian. 1 CP?
Yes.
Handy.
Pretty cool. Cloaked by the Storm, 2 CP. Use a stratagem in your psychic phase after resolving the effects of a psychic power from the Tempestus discipline manifested by a Space Wolf Psyker from your army. Until the start of your next psychic phase, each time a range attack is made against a friendly Space Wolves unit within 6 inches of that Psyker, subtract 1 from that attack's hit roll.
How many CP?
2.
2.
Oh, okay.
And
2 CP.
And it's what is it played?
It's after one of your Psychers cast a Tempestus Discipline spell in your psychic phase. So until the next psychic phase, if you're within 6 inches of that Psyker, that unit is -1 to hit.
Really wish it was 1 CP.
Yeah,
too.
ditto.
I mean, it's
still-
useful,
yeah.
but -1 to hit is not as like useful as it once was for 1 CP. That would have been because there's already a condition. You got to cast fucking power from a discipline.
Right.
So I feel like the condition already weights it. It just should be 1 CP, but otherwise still useful.
Deed Worthy of a Saga, 2 CP. Use a stratagem in any phase when a Space Wolves character model, excluding vehicle models from your army that does not have a Warlord trait. Oh, geez. I can't see like half of this.
Which one is it?
Deed Worthy of a Saga.
Use a stratagem in any phase when a Space Wolf character model, excluding vehicle models from your army that does not have a Warlord trait, meets the requirements for
A deed?
a deed. Page 49. At the end of that phase until the end of the battle, that model gains this ability associated with that deed.
Yeah, against the Saga.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Okay.
Back on the saga deeds, conditional bullshit. I hate those.
Let's see. Looks like
This was my big complaint with Space Wolves when they dropped all the conditions.
let's see. Trophy bestowed, 1 CP. Use a stratagem after I literally can't tell what this word is. It ends in ing. That's all I know. Draws from a Space Wolf successor chapter to be your warlord. You can give 1 Relic of the Fang.
Nominating a model.
Oh, okay. Oh, so this is where, like, if you have a successor chapter, you can give a Space Wolves only relic to that character.
Oh, yeah.
Because they have successor stuff now. Okay, that's what that does. Let's see. Thane of the Retinue, 1 CP. Use a stratagem before the battle when you are mustering your army. If your warlord has the Space Wolves keyword, select 1 Space Wolves model from your army that has the word sergeant or pack leader in their profile. That model can have one of the following special issue war gear relics, page 51, even though they are not a character. Mastercrafted, digital, frost, Mordekai's teeth bolts.
Mm-hmm.
Each relic in your army must be unique, and you cannot use a stratagem to give a model 2 relics. You can only use this stratagem once. So, Honored Sergeant.
Yep, Honored Sergeant.
Warrior of Legend, 1 CP. Use a stratagem after nominating a Space Wolves character model that is not a named character to be your warlord, you can generate one additional warlord trait for them.
Yep.
This must be from the Space Wolves warlord traits table. Yada yada. Doubling up on warlord traits. Cool. Let's see. Bestial Nature, 1 CP. Use a stratagem in your command phase. If a combat doctrine is active for your army, select one Space Wolves infantry, cavalry, beast unit from your army until the start of the next command phase. That unit gains the something of the assault doctrine instead of the current doctrine. Okay. So you can give somebody the assault doctrine, even if it's not.
Yeah, so very much in line with some of the Space Marine stuff.
Countercharge, 1 CP or 0 CP. Use this stratagem in your opponent's charge phase. Select one Space Wolves unit from your army. Until the end of that phase, that unit is eligible to perform a heroic intervention if it is within 6 inches horizontally of an enemy unit. And when performing a heroic intervention with that unit, you can move each model in that unit up to 6 inches. All other rules for heroic intervention still apply. The stratagem costs 0 CP if the Space Wolves unit you select is a character.
So that's 6-inch heroic intervention.
Horizontally.
Yeah.
Is that right, Rob?
Yeah.
Is that what that says?
Yeah, they're telling you
that
can't
makes
jump
sense.
up. They tell you can't go 6 inches up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So like spatially. I thought they were talking about like moving side to side or forward or back on the table.
Yeah, they're meant on the table. So that's nasty. Like, so
Yeah.
And I like that it's 0 CP for characters because it encourages the whole Space Wolf, you know, guys just running in.
and,
You know.
and Space Wolves, like everybody can heroically intervene, right? Like all their units.
Oh yeah.
So like this will make like a regular ass squad of dudes like 6 inch. That's not that's dirty because that means like ending charges anywhere near Space Wolves can be like suddenly 6 inches to bubble. So like that's a massive. So that means you can't like get within 3 inches of the objective and play the whole like, well, I'm not within 3 inches of heroic intervention of the dudes camped on it because they're like, wow, 6 inch heroic intervention. Get gas, son.
Yeah. Especially with the armor of Russ. It's pretty nasty. Because the armor of Russ wording is the same as the Judiciar, where you just it works the same way. It's pretty handy. Keen Senses, 1 CP. Use a stratagem in your shooting phase. Select one Space Wolves infantry, biker, cav. Until the end of the turn, you can ignore any or all hit roll, ballistic skill, and weapon skill modifiers.
Yes.
And each time you make a charge roll for that unit, you can ignore any or all modifiers to that charge roll.
How many CP?
1.
That's a really fucking good CP.
Oh, yeah.
Well spent CP right there.
All right, last one. Runic Wards, 1 CP. Use a stratagem in your opponent's psychic phase. After a psychic test is passed for an enemy psyker unit, select one Space Wolves unit from your army within 12 inches of that psyker. The unit you selected can attempt to deny the psychic power by taking a Deny the Witch test as if they were a psyker.
Oh, okay. Situational. You know, what I like about these is that there's a few nuggets in here, right? Like a few standouts, but it's still Space Marine Codex, right? It still gets to use the new highness.
And now, because Space Wolves are in the Codex Astartes, you have access to all of those stratagems and stuff too, which is like super cool because the Space Wolf stratagem has some really spicy ones.
Yeah, no, that's really cool because you play with the power of Space Marines with the flavor of Space Wolves. And, you know, honestly, like if earlier today, I was not very like happy about, like, I was like, yeah, Thunder Wolf Cavalry, they got a buff. They're cool. You know, they're restricted because they're cavalry. But now suddenly with some of these stratagems, I don't mind having like a flavorful unit of Thunder Wolf Cavalry. You know, like there's some nasty shit there in a pinch, like with that heroically intervene bullshit, with that fucking reroll the 3d6, pick the highest, extra +1 to wound in close combat. Like, yo, like suddenly there's some play there. Like I'm very happy with it. Like I don't like some of the situational bullshit, but like when combined with the weight of the Space Marine Codex, that's not bad.
Yeah, they got some really cool stuff going on. I'm excited for Space Wolves.
They all seem, I don't know. They all seem pretty good, but you know, you gotta get the Marine book.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I mean,
Yep.
duh. And luckily, you can download it on the app. Wait, I keep saying that. Like, you can't.
You can't. They need to fix that, man.
Yeah, freelancer asked in the chat, can they take apothecaries? No.
No.
They can take a.
Yeah, there's a section in the Space Marine Codex for Blood Angels, Dark Angels, Space Wolves, where they're like, you have access to everything except these.
Mm-hmm. Space Wolves historically have like a dual role. They have the Wolf Priest. He's like the chaplain and the healer, right? And that's always been his role. So he has like a lesser healing role, and they have a stratagem to support that. So you can get some wounds back on Thunderwolf or some shit. I think.
Yep.
Assuming it wasn't key to infantry. That's pretty cool, man. I mean, mostly my Space Wolf list would be a lot of cool Space Marine units that are really strong with a little bit of Space Wolf flair. And I feel like you'd win a lot of games if you went into it that way. You know, like they have the same armory, the same vehicles, the same. It's pretty fun, cool.
Well, I'm excited for it. I got a big old Space Wolves project about to hit the desk for the cold winter, the wolf time, when we're not going to be streaming or doing podcasts. I'm just going to sculpt a bunch of fur and paint a lot of Space Wolves.
Nice.
So on page 124 of the Space Wolf or the Space Marine Codex, it says like what each of the successors can take. And for Space Wolves, it says the following units cannot be from Space Wolves chapter or any of their successors: Apothecary, Assault Squad, Devastator, Sternguard Veteran, Tactical Squad, or Vanguard Veteran Squad.
That makes sense.
Because they have their own units to fulfill those roles.
Right.
Yeah, but they got a lot of stuff they didn't have before.
Mm-hmm. Oh, heavy intercessors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I assume they can take all of that because it just said not those. Everything else is on the table.
Yeah, and then like in the data sheet, it'll say like a Devastator squad. It'll say like if you are Space Wolves, like these guys are Long Fangs or whatever.
That's hype. Well, we've ran over. We covered a lot today. Congratulations again to Mike Haspil sharing the news with us.
Best news I've heard all day.
It truly is, Mike. Rob?
Why don't you just ask him? The house will take us out of here.
We are told to remember the idea, not the man, because a man can fail. He can be caught, he can be killed and forgotten. But 400 years later, an idea can still change the world. Remember the 5th of November.